If you are emphatically in love with the word salsa and are unable to tolerate any opinions which differ from your own, viewer discretion is advised. There is a lot of information in this international community of music and dance. It is impossible to cover all of it in one movie. We just cannot cover every detail about every dance, about every rhythm. We hope only that you can appreciate La Epoca to get your quest for more knowledge enhanced. Hello, I'm Josue Joseph, director and producer of La Epoca, international artist and instructor from the metropolitan area of New York.
And I am Sara Krawczyk from the metropolitan area of Kraków in Poland. And I am a principal member of the La Epoca and I am a Mambo team.
You are about to watch Part 2, La Epoca, The Lost Rhythms in Salsa.
Fair warning!
That's right, fair warning. This film is not for the lighthearted. This is truly for the serious instructors of instructors. This goes very deep into the concepts of Afro-Cuban and Afro-Latin musicality and clave, dancing on one, dancing on two, classic Palladium mambo, and in clave, and with a hint of cubana, with interviews with most of today's top choreographers, instructors, and performers in the world. In addition, the musicality of how to listen to and distinguish those rhythms which have been lost under the umbrella term salsa, such as danzón, mambo, guaguancó, Son-Montuno, and guajira. This edition of La Epoca is a must-see for everyone. International instructor, choreographer, DJ,
performer, social dancer, or just a fan. Enjoy!
Enjoy.
Oye mi guaguancó, mi guaguancó. Oye mi guaguancó, mi guaguancó. Báilalo con sabor, con sabor, con sabor. Oye mi guaguancó, mi guaguancó. Oye mi guaguancó, mi guaguancó. Oye mi guaguancó, mi guaguancó.
I think the most important thing is to remember that dancing is a joyous thing, and whether you're dancing on one or on two, using footwork or turn patterns, it doesn't matter as long as you're enjoying yourself, having a good time, and most importantly, interpreting the music. That no matter what your connection to the music is or what music style you prefer, as long as you are interpreting it from your heart and from your soul and having a good time doing it, that's the most important thing.
Now, because of the LaEpocaFilm, is where we're going to be able to tap back into our root, whether you're an on one, on two, whether you have an Afro-Cuban style, but to be able to bring the lost rhythm together and bring that cohesiveness.
People, don't let this die. We're letting it go. We're losing our music. We're losing our dance. This is a good part and a rich part of our culture. I give you a lot of credit for this film because this is going to help educate the people as to how this whole thing started, where it came from, and it helps us to understand where we are and where we're going.
A lot of musicians, nowadays are just using what they have available to them at hand. I think it is unfortunate in some ways that you're not getting that raw feel of mambo music anymore. A lot of dancers are going with whatever knowledge they're fed with right now and what they know. A lot of them are not being schooled in music, they're being schooled in dance. At the same token, you would think that they would be schooled in how this dance evolved and how it came from that era to this, but it's just not really the foundation nowadays for dancers. So, to their defense, everyone's just reacting to the cause and effect.
People scratch the surface and then they go and they start teaching. And you have this, what I call a flushing of an art form, where the person teaching knows a certain amount and they teach this student that comes in a fraction of that. And then that student runs away and starts to teach and teaches a fraction of that. and you get this flush of the art form down the toilet, and this very distinct separation between what could be and what was in terms of people acknowledging music and history and culture.
No hay que llorar, el tiempo pasará, tú verás. Podrás abrazarme de nuevo, tú verás. Podrás bailar de nuevo, tú verás. Se burlaban de mí por no correr con la corriente. Yo sé que
In this international community of mambo and salsa, there are many different instructors, many performers, many different opinions, and on different subjects. The producers of La Epoca believe that everyone has a right to his or her opinion. We do not want to offend anyone, but we do feel that this needs to be said up front. There are many pretenducators in our international community of mambo and salsa. A pretenducator is a person with some knowledge on a subject who pretends to be a qualified expert educator on that subject. He or she passes on false, inaccurate, and incomplete information. Now, this is not to be confused with an instructor or educator who is teaching well within his or her realm of knowledge. What I'm talking about here is musicality. Many instructors are now teaching classes they like to call musicality. In the last few years, I've seen other musicality classes pop up here and there. Most of these workshops are classes filled with turns and combinations with little to no explanation of the music whatsoever. Students are moving exactly how the instructors are teaching them, but neither the students nor the instructors know why they're moving like that. To my friendly viewers and fellow dancers, the next time you attend one of these musicality workshops, I encourage you with friendly advice to find a way to politely ask the instructor the following question. What do you hear in the music that we should be hearing so that we can execute this same movement you're teaching us to different songs instead of just this song? Are you teaching us to move to the melody, or are you teaching us to move to the rhythm? Melody is exclusive. Rhythm, not so much, because it is shared by many songs. The instructor may most likely smile and offer you the quick solution to your question with the generic response. You just have to feel it, or you just have to listen and you'll hear it. Well, the problem with this is that you and your fellow students still won't know what to listen for and how to respond to what's in the music, so that those moves being taught can become part of your arsenals to be used at the proper time in other songs instead of just doing that same move anywhere in any song, which in essence raises an important question. Is this so-called musicality workshop teaching you dance, or is this class teaching you how to become the music on the dance floor in your dance? For La Epoca, for me, that is what dancing is about. It's about becoming the music, becoming one with the music, being an instrument, part of the orchestra playing that song. To my friendly viewers, please organize your thoughts, leave the daily dramas at the door, and prepare to learn with a clear mind. Welcome to La Epoca, your connection to the music and the dance. Knowing how to distinguish the correct clave pattern is absolutely essential to a skilled musician and dancer. Now, to discuss clave, we must first discuss the structure of Latin music.
Si yo estoy mal por haberme enamorado de ti.
Remember, there are many pretenducators. They pretend to be qualified experts on the subjects of clave and musicality, instead of referring their students to qualified schools or instructors. There are also many instructors who mean well, but were unable to find reliable resources up until now.
Dime si yo estoy mal por haberme enamorado de ti. Dime, yo no quiero perderte, Yo no quiero perder el amor de mi vida. Yo no quiero perder mi alma gemela.
If you ever hear an instructor, or anyone for that matter, who seems to speak with an authority on the subject of clave and musicality, then the information I'm about to present to you will help you to determine whether or not this person trying to educate you truly understands the concept of clave and musicality. In most of Latin music performed and recorded in present day, the clave sticks are not audible because they're not used so much anymore except by a few orchestras. So then how can the clave of a song be identified? Again, I remind you, there are many potentiators around the world who speak with an attitude of authority on the subject of clave and musicality. In present day, the word clave is almost like a status symbol. When it comes to the concept of clave, many musicians and dancers around the world are under the impression that the melody of a song is what determines the clave. Now, this theory may have developed by the need of today's musicians to justify how they think the music should sound, or to justify their ability to play music that may sound authentically Latin. Their theory is not based on any syllabus created by any of the pioneers and innovators of Afro-Cuban and other Afro-Latin music, including Arsenio Rodriguez, Cachao, Benny Moré, Tito Puente, and even Johnny Pacheco. Now, this theory is based on an incomplete understanding of clave syncopation. For example, their theory is that if the melody begins on the first beat of the music, or if the melody sounds like it has a 3-2 clave pattern, then it means that the song is a 3-2 clave. If that were correct, then the contrabass would have to. The melody of a song has absolutely no bearing on clave syncopation.
Sientes el tumbao y tú quieres bailar y tú quieres gozar. Goza mi mambo. Ay, no lo niegues. Tú sientes el tumbao y tú quieres bailar y tú quieres gozar. Goza mi mambo.
Both the classic mambo and traditional mambo formats are characterized by unrestricted expression, body movement, and footwork. Cuban Pete, Carmen Cruz, Freddie Rios, Mike Ramos, Andy Jarrick, and Augie and Margot are among mambo's pioneers. Eddie Torres' concept was to give salsa on one dancers a palladium feel to their movements, and thus he created this on-two style. In my travels around the world teaching musicality, what I find most common among Antu dancers is that many are teaching and dancing, counting out the 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, yet are unable to put into words what exactly they're counting, or even why they count as they do. Even though the words 1 and 2 and 3 and 5 and 6 and 7 are still the same English words used in both on 1 and on 2, the timing is different. Very, very few Antu dancers, even among the most advanced, are able to put into words the actual arithmetic, the mathematics. Most just count it out. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. But when I hear them being asked by students to explain the timing, I hear most Antu instructors give the generic answer. You just have to feel it. But the problem with this is that music is based on mathematics. And if dancers are feeling the music and actually connecting to it, then dancers should likewise be able to feel the mathematics of the music. Musicians have margins of sensitivity to improvise and play with the timing. Skilled musicians have it on paper in musical notes. There is no "you just have to feel it" when it comes to what's written on paper. Now, since musicians have the music we're playing with how we are feeling the music, dancers who become the music in our dance can also have on paper what we're dancing and how we're feeling it. It's called a syllabus. What I'm about to explain to you to clear up the confusion is just a small part of our very popular LaEpoca Antu musicality syllabus. Here is the math put very simply.
There is no experience like having that musical connection with someone else, having the combination of the emotional connection at the same time, both of you having that musical connection, that relationship with the music. There is really no relationship like that.
You have dancers with certain possibilities. You have dancers with certain things that they're comfortable doing with their bodies that they're going to do, and it becomes kind of their repertoire. Then you have the things that happen to a dancer in what we call the trance, when you're kind of in that moment and it's neither cognitive nor physical, it's something very spiritual and emotional. And there are things that happen to you in that moment that may be outside of your repertoire. And so when a dancer of today, especially a young dancer, is looking to make himself seen or make himself unique or make himself more advanced or superior to the dancer next to him, he's looking for those slightly more technically difficult ways of expressing an idea. What ends up happening is that when you come to a dance school now, the dance teacher is now throwing all these possibilities at the student. And what that's going to do is it's going to have people and students especially learning things in a very superficial way. They're not coming up with these things through their own trance.
Llevar un proyecto que es muy importante para la cultura latinoamericana, para los salseros.
Do you think it is important for dancers to have a connection and understand the music and the history?
Yes, I do. I think it's very important for the dancers to listen to the music. It's two different things, okay? Performing in the show and dancing socially, you know? Performing is more entertaining because you have people watching you. It's an entertaining thing. So you might do a lot of things that you were not gonna do on the social dance floor. But what happened is in the social dance, a lot of dancers, they think about the steps, what they learn on school, what they create maybe a step or something, and they don't listen to the music, okay? And you have to follow the music. In salsa, the Latin music had so many instruments that you have to follow. You have to know when the Montuno comes, you have to change to Montuno. When the guaguancó comes, you have to dance guaguancó. You can't be turning the lady when it's a guaguancó part. When the descarga comes, let go the lady and then show your footwork, what you got. So the music is telling you what you do. You're not telling the music what to do. So yes, I think it's very important, but especially also for the instructors to tell all our students this, the education, but not so many instructors do it.
Podrás abrazarme de nuevo.
Earl, as a dancer, do you feel that you have knowledge and do you know the rhythms of Latin music as dancers of the Palladium era did?
I'm gonna be pretty straight with you, Josue. For what I know, I consider myself to be an instructor. I have no clue. I have none whatsoever the Latin rhythms of what they were doing back then. I don't know. I don't know the difference between a guajira, a 1-1 call, a song, or song. I've just heard it. I don't have a clue, unfortunately. And unfortunately, most of these teachers out here now are teaching, they don't have a clue either. So unfortunately, their students don't have a clue. So everybody's walking around, dancing, teaching, who don't have a clue.
If you heard a mambo, if you heard a Son-Montuno or a danzón or a guaguancó, would you know these rhythms? And if you don't, do you think there's any importance in knowing what they are?
Guaguancó, and what's the other one?
Danzón, guajira,
Danzón, never in my life. Never. First time I hear danzón.
Son-Montuno.
Yes, Son-Montuno. No, never. A lot of times I assume it's a particular style.
And when you say style, do you mean rhythm?
Rhythm, yes, of the difference of the rhythm. I'm proud to say that I'm a student.
Do you feel that it is important for dancers to know what a mambo and a Son-Montuno and a guaguancó is and sounds like, and do you think it will help them in their dancing?
The answer is a resounding yes. Definitely, it's very, very important for dancers to educate themselves with the different rhythms, as you say, Montuno, Clave, guaguancó, the mambo. I think that learning about the history of salsa as well, and the evolution from the African rhythms and the migration through Spain and then into the Americas where Latin jazz came into it. I think that just learning about the history and all those rhythms that provided the foundation for what salsa is today. I think it's crucial for dancers to learn about that.
And I think it's sad because it would be awesome to have somebody to teach us. Unfortunately, there's not many people doing this in the Congress. I think probably with so many festivals, if promoters get more into this, we can have some lessons.
Uno no debe dogmatizar. Es decir que sí, yo tengo que saber distinguir entre como dijo, mambo, un cha-cha-cha, una guajira, que es un cha-cha-cha más lento, un son, una salsa un poco más moderna, etcétera, etcétera. Es decir, que si yo tengo, por ejemplo, una rumba con kin, kin, cucún, ¿por qué no ponerle un ritmo de son encima? Kun, kin, kin, cucún.
Y de ahí el ñambú.
Kun, kin, kin. Entonces sí, estoy de acuerdo con la pregunta, es muy importante distinguir. No sé distinguir todas las cosas, por ejemplo, no sé distinguir entre bomba y plena. Sé si es bomba o plena, pero no sé si es bomba o plena.
When you actually apply yourself to musicality, to educating yourself with music, the history, the foundations, it only serves to add to the experience of dancing, and it only benefits your dancing.
We hope that you've enjoyed this presentation of LaEpoca.
Yes, there is so much more information available to you. Knowing where to find reliable resources is one of the main reasons why I founded LaEpoca.
Today, not enough congresses and festivals offer classes on musicality.
That's right, and regrettably, most who do offer such classes are with instructors who teach combinations and turns and choreography. Absolutely no connection to the music whatsoever. We are very grateful to the many organizers all over the world who we've had the pleasure of working with, presenting at the congresses and festivals. For us, it's a great honor, and we look forward to many, many more.
Find us on Facebook under LaEpocaFilm. Just click like and you will be able to follow us and stay up to date with us.
That's right. Find us online also at LaEpocaFilm.com You'll be able to find much more information about us, our mission, and everything that we do. La Epoca is very proud to be the world's leading authority on the connection between Latin music and dance.
¿Quién más te lo dirá? Que esto es un son con sazón. ¿Quién más te lo dirá? Que este es un son. ¿Quién más te lo dirá? Que esto es un son con sazón. Si tú no sabes bailar la rumba, ¿cómo vas a bailar al son? ¿Quién más te lo dirá? Que esto es un son con sazón. Si tú no sabes del son, siéntate ahí, cállate la boca. ¿Quién más te lo dirá? Que esto es un son con sazón.